and the government that is upholding it is this. Our pronouns are not a threat to you. Our families are not a threat to you. Our differences are not a threat to you. Our capacity for happiness is not a threat to you. It is your actions that are a threat to the American experiment. But your power is derived from the consent of the governed. And we outnumber you. We outpassion you. We outlove you. It is our power that will prevail, and this great experiment will succeed. This corruption will not stand. Our voices will be heard.
My name's Dave. I'm a father of 5, a taxpayer, and a proud citizen of the United States. February 5th, 2025 was my very first protest. I'm not affiliated with any political party. I'm here for my children, their children, and every other child that will be affected by the atrocities slowly forming around us, rising out of the muck. For the last decade, I've come to consider myself an uncommon person in these even more dark, uncommon times. Most common folks in this country consider themselves part of the red team or the blue team, woke or MAGA, liberal or conservative. All these people consider themselves Americans while openly hating and disparaging each other. This pigeonholing of ideologies into two camps has forced rational people to accept irrational positions to conform to a two-party state that some would argue is a one-party state.
History is repeating itself, and they want to deny the people the knowledge of history because they know if you do not know history, you are doomed to repeat it. And they are so keen on repeating the worst parts of it. Furthermore, the Declaration...
I'm only 17 years old. I got out of high school early for this. But, I mean, if you told me last year that I would be standing in front of all of you, I would not have believed you. I was much more focused on getting my schoolwork done and prepping for college, hanging out with my friends. I didn't think a ton about all the people in charge of our government. I didn't pay attention to it a ton because it didn't affect me. I mean, you can look at me. I have lived a life of privilege. And the more I pay attention to it, the more I speak to people and figure out what I've been missing because of how our country's been laid out to create that privilege, the more I saw the problems that are still here and that we still need to work on.
Are we attacking the wrong enemy? What's being spoken about in the media, on daytime TV, and amongst ourselves is effectively a puppet show. We need to be talking more about the men who are pulling the strings. Peter Thiel, Curtis Yarvin, Balaji Srinivasan, Dryden Brown, Mark Andreessen, Palmer Luckey, Brian Armstrong, Sam Altman, Kevin Roberts, Russell Vought. If you want to see a revolution and you want any chance of a united resistance across party lines, across race, gender, and class lines, we need to make these people into household names.
I don't know. I guess somebody was psychic, knew this day was coming. Today is March 4th. March 4th. On this day in 1789, the United States Constitution went into effect. The first Congress was seated today in 1789. On that day, a new form of government was brought into existence. A government based not on kings and wealth, but on ideals. A government dedicated to a more perfect union. A government intended to provide for the common welfare. A radical new idea. A democracy. Today, 236 years later, that democracy is in crisis. Tonight, on the 236th anniversary of our constitutional liberties, Donald J. Trump will enter the congressional chamber to speak about the State of the Union. But we know, whatever he's going to say, it will be lies. He is no American patriot. He is not a defender of the liberties and freedoms our Constitution guarantees to every one of us. No, he is a tyrant. A would-be dictator. Donald J. Trump is the greatest threat this nation has faced in its 250-year history. Now, I know the tin pot tyrant himself is prone to that kind of hyperbole, but I'm not exaggerating. I tell you that the Orange Orwellian in the White House is the greatest threat this nation has faced, and I mean it.
We will not bow to a self-proclaimed king, and we certainly will not kowtow to the will of egotistical, self-serving billionaires. We have been cheated and lied to. Our would-be dictator has taken bold actions that align his political strategy with that of Hitler, Putin, and other despotic leaders. Complete with his biggest supporters, Elon Musk and Steve Bannon, proudly throwing the Nazi salute. A sign which is despised across the world and banned in Germany, Austria, Australia, and Slovakia. Today, our nation faces its greatest threat to freedom. A president who ignores the Constitution, who ignores checks and balances, a president who has signed executive orders that give himself and the Attorney General, currently Pam Bondi, the sole ability to interpret laws for the executive branch. A president who has given unfettered access to sensitive information, your sensitive information, to one of the richest men in the world and his hand-picked dogers that do only what he says. A president who has started the Make America Healthy Again movement in the hands of an anti-science conspiracy theorist. A president who just this morning threatened funding for any school, college, or university that allows illegal protesting, as well as deport or imprison any student caught participating. We do not serve the government. It is them who serve us. Our government was built by the people, of the people, for the people. Instead, the current administration has done everything to divide us. They've attempted to sow fear and doubt amongst us. They've attacked immigrants, people of color, the LGBTQIA+ community, women, and all men who dare oppose them. They've attacked our education system, our healthcare system, grants and funding, DEI programs, free trade, free speech, women's rights, and now They're attacking our democracy directly.
Oh, remember?